Hi friends, in second grade we build box guitars and it takes a long time to build them, but they're real guitars and then we learn how to play them at the end of the year. So the first thing we do is learn about what makes a guitar because they have many of the same things that bigger guitars have. So let's take a look at the guitar family and see what we notice about guitars.
Guitars come in all shapes and sizes, but they do have things in common. So here's 4 very different styles of guitars, but while I'm talking about them, I want you to be looking for things that are similar about all the guitars, and also look for things that are different. So this first one here, this white one on the end, this is an electric guitar. An electric guitar needs an amplifier to make it loud. It isn't very loud by itself. It has pickups on it and a place to plug it into the amplifier, and it also has volume controls. This next one is a box guitar. This small one here is a ukulele. A ukulele is not a guitar, but it is a member of the guitar family because it has lots of things in common with the guitar. And finally, this one on the end is an acoustic guitar. And an acoustic guitar is pretty loud. You can just strum it and play it and sing along with it. So let's take a closer look at some things, and I want you to notice things that are similar and things that are different. If you need to take a closer look, you can pause and rewind and take a look again. First, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I thought are different about each guitar. One thing I noticed is that they have different colors. So a guitar doesn't need to be any specific color. The ukulele has just the wood color. The other thing that I've noticed is that the bodies are all different. There isn't a set shape for the body of a guitar. This acoustic guitar has a more traditional shape. The ukulele does too. Our box guitars are square, and this is the Fender Stratocaster, which was designed by a man named Leo Fender. And because it's not acoustic, you can make the body look pretty much like anything you want. The next thing I noticed that is different is the shape of the sound holes. This one has a round sound hole. On this one, the palm tree is the sound hole. This one has a couple tiny sound holes here, which are hidden. And the electric guitar doesn't have any sound holes. Of course, the electric guitar doesn't need sound holes because it's solid. It's not hollow like the other 3 acoustic instruments. The electric guitar is made out of a solid piece of wood. I also noticed that the electric guitar has 3 pickups, volume control, and a switch, and a jack plate. None of the acoustic guitars have that, although this acoustic guitar can be plugged in. What else is different? I notice that the shape of the headstocks is different. On the acoustic and the electric, they have all the tuning pegs on one side, but on the ukulele and the box guitar, there's 2 on one side, and on this one has 2 on one side and 1 on the other. So I think the first rule about guitar making is that there aren't really any rules, and as soon as somebody tries to come up with a rule, somebody's going to break that rule. Now let's talk about the things that are the same. And it's important to talk about the things that are the same because those are the things which define what a guitar is. I think the first thing you notice about a guitar is that it has strings. And the strings, when you pluck them, make the sound. Then starting at the top, I notice that they all have these pegs. And these are called the tuning pegs, and the tuning pegs allow you to change the sound of the string and tune it. Also, the tuning pegs are mounted to a peg head, also called a headstock. All guitars have a neck. The neck is the long part here. And just like your neck, it connects the head to the body. So all guitars seem to have some kind of body. The acoustic guitars all have a sound hole. So I'm going to say that a sound hole is very important to making your guitar sound good. Another thing that guitars have is these frets. They're metal frets, and they change the pitch of the string as you move up the neck. The ukulele has lots of tiny frets. The frets on the box guitar are made out of wood. Finally, there's two last things that guitars have that are very important. First thing is, this is called the nut up here, and it holds the strings in place. And down here, there's a bridge. Some people call it a bridge saddle. I just call it a bridge. And that holds the strings at the bottom. So those 9 words are very important to know if you're going to build a guitar.
What I would like you to do now is to get a piece of paper and some pencils and some colored pencils, and I'd like you to draw your fantasy guitar. What do I mean by fantasy guitar? If you didn't have any rules about making a guitar, what would it look like? In fact, a couple years ago, I decided to make my fantasy guitar. I always wanted to make a SpongeBob guitar, and so I made a SpongeBob guitar. So I'm going to draw one here on the whiteboard. Now, as we know, we need to have at least 9 things when we're building a guitar. So I don't care what your guitar looks like, as long as it has these 9 things. So I want you to draw your picture, and I want you to label it with the 9 things that are important to a guitar. It's coming up on Halloween, so I think this year I want to make a pumpkin guitar. So I'm going to start with the biggest parts of the guitar, and I'm going to draw those first, and then I'll add the smaller details later. And I think the first thing and the biggest thing in a guitar is the body, so I'm going to start with that. It kind of looks like a pumpkin. And now I'm going to make a neck. And maybe I should label it while I'm doing it. So there's the neck. Better label the body too. And then I'm going to put the peg head up at the top like this. So I think those are the 3 biggest parts. Now's the part where I can really have fun with the fantasy ideas. I'm going to make my sound holes. And I think if I'm going to have a pumpkin shape, I don't need to have just a round sound hole. I'm going to make the eyes of the pumpkin be the sound hole. Maybe I better put a mouth in too. That can be another sound hole. Better label those. All right. Next, I'm going to put on the tuning pegs. There's two parts to the tuning pegs. There's the knob on the side, and then there's the place where the string goes to. And they're connected. Okay. Now I think I need some frets. You gotta have some frets because it's a guitar. And this is the nut up here. And this is the bridge down here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last thing I need to put on here is some strings. Those strings go from the bridge to the nut and then to the tuners. So there's my Halloween pumpkin box guitar fantasy project. What I would like for you to do is to design and draw a box guitar, any design that you want to make it, and take a picture of it and send it to me. I want to see it. Here's some drawings done by actual second grade students. Here's a donut guitar, the always popular heart guitar, the Superstar guitar. Not sure what this is. An airplane guitar? And another heart guitar.